to Search the Scriptures, and this is our last study in the book of Job. We are covering the final chapter of the book today, chapter number 42, verses 7 through 17. If you have a Bible, you want to get that out. We are going to attempt to answer a couple different questions from these last few verses. Job's friends would certainly have agreed with all that God said to Job, yet God is angry with them. You have not, he says, spoken of me what is right. Why did he say this? Was it their haste in condemning Job, their doctrinal prejudice, their lack of sympathy? What was it? Secondly, Job quarreled with God, doubted his justice, insisted on his own innocence, and wanted to end his life. Yet God said he had spoken what is right. Why did God say that to Job? Well, let's look at the closing verses of chapter number 42 together and keep those questions in mind, and we will attempt to answer them after we've looked at this passage.
After the Lord had said these things to Job, he said to Eliphaz the Temanite, I am angry with you and your two friends because you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. So now, take 7 bulls and 7 rams and go to my servant Job and sacrifice a burnt offering for yourselves. My servant Job will pray for you, and I will accept his prayer, and not deal with you according to your folly. You have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. So Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite did what the Lord told them. And the Lord accepted Job's prayer. After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord made him prosperous again, and gave him twice as much as he had before. All his brothers and sisters and everyone who had known him before came and ate with him in his house. They comforted and consoled him over all the trouble the Lord had brought upon him, and each one gave him a piece of silver and a gold ring. The Lord blessed the latter part of Job's life more than the first. He had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 donkeys. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. The first daughter he named Jemimah, the second Keziah, and the third Keren-Happuch. Nowhere in all the land were there found women as beautiful as Job's daughters, and their father granted them an inheritance along with their brothers. After this, Job lived 140 years. He saw his children and their children to the 4th generation, and so he died, old and full of years.
Well, Job may have had beautiful daughters, but man, what a name. Keren-Happuch. Wow. Now to the questions. Job's friends would certainly have agreed with all that God said to Job, yet God is angry with them. You have not, he says, spoken of me what is right. Why was this so? Was it their haste in condemning Job? Doctrinal prejudice? Their lack of sympathy? What was it? Well, while much of what Job's friends had to say could have been true in any other context, it was not true in the case of Job. We have to be very careful in making broad statements when it comes to individuals and their suffering. They were too quick to rely on the talking points of their day, and they didn't fully investigate the situation before they spoke. Second question, Job quarreled with God, doubted his justice, insisted on his own innocence, and wanted to end his life. Yet God, when speaking to him, said he spoke what is right. Why did God say that to him? Well, Job, unlike his friends, had wrestled with all sides of the issue, and he knew exactly where he stood in the situation. He spoke from his heart. He spoke from a position of recognizing God's power. Job's friends spoke, however, out of a head knowledge, and not from the wisdom that comes with wrestling with the deep things of God. I want to conclude this study by just kind of reviewing and summing up what I've gathered from the book of Job. I've thoroughly enjoyed the last 20 days in Job, and never have I gotten more out of the book of Job than studying it as we have each and every day for nearly 3 weeks. I love listening to Job wrestle with God. The book of Job gives me a permission to question things, to shout, to shake my fist at God when things don't go the way that I think they should, while at the same time letting me know that yeah, I may be able to do that. God will let me get by with that. But God can shout back, and he can fight back. And when he does, he's always going to win the fight. But the fact that God will allow me to wrestle and allow me to vent my feelings helps me to feel better about serving him. I love the story of Job, and I love the story of Jacob. They're my two favorite stories in the Bible. Both men wrestled with God. Job wrestled with words, and Jacob in an actual physical wrestling match. Both of them refused to give up. Both were touched. Both went away from the encounter completely changed, never be the same again. And both left blessed. It seems to me that the trials of life are God's challenge for us to climb through the ropes and into the ring to give him our very best shot. He wants to see if we'll cling to him and never let go like Jacob did, or cry out to him, though you slay me, I will serve you, as Job did. God seems to want us to take our best shot, knowing full well that he can pin us to the mat at any given moment. The great thing about wrestling with God is, though you know you most certainly are going to lose, you also have this assurance that you can rest upon. The fact that when you're ready to tap out, that he will extend you mercy. He'll pick you up off the mat. He'll hoist your hand into the air, and he will declare a victory for your life. I hope this study in the book of Job has blessed you as much as it's blessed me. Hope your day's going great so far. May God richly bless the rest of your day.